Hi there and welcome to my channel. Today's project is for the BK Boutin design team and I'm very excited because I am back. I took a few weeks off because I had quite a bit of work, especially with contracts and classes that I've been working for other manufacturers. So now I'm actually done with that, so I'm able to come back and create videos for my channel. So I'm starting with this project for Vicky, and this is pretty much what Vicky calls my dark side, and I love it. So it's gonna be tons of mixed media, kind of grungy. So if that's the look you want, then you're in the right place. So I'm starting this. It's gonna be a complete full layout using Color Study, and I started by using one of my dinner plates, and this is just, I don't know what you call it. It's not the serving plate, it's the middle plate. Don't ask me what the name is. And I'm gonna put it right on the center. I think my plate is 8 inches around there. It's gonna sit right on the center of my page. I'm using a pencil to draw around it, and then I'm gonna use the circle line that I created to help me add the mixed media. Now here's the key. I am using foundation paper as the base for my layout. If you do not have foundation paper, then you're gonna have to add quite a bit of gesso to your regular cardstock to make sure that it's gonna withstand the amount of mixed media we're gonna add. It's not tons, but we are gonna add layer upon layer of mixed media. So you wanna make sure that your paper is able to sustain that. Again, I am using foundation paper, so you're gonna see that I have no gesso behind it, and the foundation paper has kind of a bit of a coating, which is gonna allow me to play with the mixed media, like move it around, which is what I'm doing right now. And if you have just regular cardstock, gesso is gonna allow you to do that. So going back to my layout, what I'm going to do right now is I'm focusing actually on the neutral set of our crayons to create my background. So I started with the ochre, that yellowish tone on the neutral set. I'm just scribbling it on my mat, add some water to dilute the crayon, and then I'm using my brush. I am only going to use my brush. You can go ahead and use the kissing technique if that makes it easier for you. For me, the brush is an easy way to control where I am adding my pigment. And the way I apply my pigment, if you have never seen it before, is I usually splatter some of it on my page and then help move it with my brush. And here's where the foundation paper comes in handy, because like I said before, it has a coating, so the ink remains on top of the page, and I am able to move it around and give it that organic look of watercolor. So I'm adding paint, I'm just gonna call it like liquid watercolor in this case, around the circle that I created. A lot of my picture and most of my image is gonna sit on the bottom right corner of the circle, so you're gonna see that the application of the watercolor is heavier there. And I'm gonna add a little bit to the top left corner of the wreath because I need to balance my page. So keep that in mind. It's gonna be a little bit of balance for this. So once I've added the yellow, I'm going to come in with my next layer. It's just gonna be applying different colors, and for this I am using, there's a tone in the neutral set that it's kind of like a maroon, kind of orangey. I'm just gonna scribble some of that on top of what I have already, mix it, dilute it with some water, and then I'm gonna go apply it on top of the yellow. I'm not gonna cover the entire yellow area. I'm just gonna add it to certain areas. I want to deepen the color in those areas. I want to make it more earthy. I want to add some splatter. It's gonna create a little bit of a dimension in the background. And like I said, the way I apply it is I just dilute it, kind of splatter it with my brush, and then move it around with my brush. Now before I put this to dry, I'm actually gonna apply another layer of watercolor, or in this case art crayon. I am using the gray art crayon from the neutral set. Again, I'm scribble it, add some water to dilute it, and then I'm gonna splatter it on top of the yellow and then just move it around. I'm making sure that the gray is not gonna cover the entire yellow, just some areas. Whenever you add gray or black to any color, it's just gonna deepen the color, kind of just make it really earthy, which is what I'm going for. So you're gonna see that I'm just adding splatters. I am not covering my entire page, just certain areas of my wreath. So keep that in mind and be very careful what I'm adding. So once I have the first layer, well, it's kind of like 3 layers, the first bit of watercolor down, I'm gonna set it aside to dry completely on its own. I did not use my heat gun for this. I just let it dry on its own because I know that I'm gonna add quite a few more layers, and if I start heating my paper, I'm gonna buckle it. So instead, I'm just gonna let it dry on its own. It's gonna take some time, This layout took me 3 hours to complete, but not because it's complicated, it's just because I let it dry on its own before I moved on. So my next step is I'm gonna add some stamping, and I'm using a stamp that I think is sold out in Vicky's shop. I have it, I bought it because it's my kind of jam. It's a Bo Bunny stamp. I'll add the name, and it has this splatter look, which looks a lot like what I have on the background. Now I am stamping, or I'm using actually Obsidian Black ink from Altenew. Use an ink that is waterproof, so I'm using pigment ink, and I'm gonna stamp it following the circle that I created with the pencil. So you're gonna see 3 times on the right hand side because I have a larger area, and just once at the top, and I'm trying to follow the area like the circular motion. Now here I'm gonna come in with my next layer of mixed media, and this time I'm gonna use another one of the images that come in the stamp set. There's one that looks like a piece of a ledger, so I'm going to use that, and I'm using art crayons for this. So I'm using the black art crayon. I'm just going to scribble the entire image. I'm going to give it like 2 splashes of water. I'm going to dry up any excess water that's dripping, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp it. I want to have those little lines of the ledger, a little bit of the handwriting showing on the background, and I'm going to do that at the bottom. Remember, my photo is going to go at the bottom, so I have to kind of stamp it 2 or 3 times to make sure that you see peaks of it coming out. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of the stamp on the top left corner. You're gonna see that I moved the stamp so that I have those lines. Once I have that, I'm gonna actually add a little bit more of that black to the background. So what I'm doing is just scribbling a little bit of the black art crayon, adding some water to dilute it, and then I'm gonna add splatters on top of the stamping that I created. That's just gonna give it that earthy look. It's gonna take some of that black that I have on the background. It's just gonna bring those splatter look that I'm going for to the stamping, and kind of camouflage those little corners also that I created of the stamp. Once I have that, I am gonna make sure that my background dries completely before I come in with the next layer. So what I need now is to add texture and a little bit of depth and a little bit of bling. So I'm starting with, this is one of Vicky's exclusive stencils you can find in her shop. I think it's called Art Layers, and I am using the one that looks like a little cheetah print. That's what I call it, but it looks like just like little scribbles. And I'm going to use gold glaze and Vicky's stencil brush. Again, the stencil brushes are discontinued, but if you have one, this is a great tool. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of this impression of this detail around the areas that I stamp, and I'm gonna be very careful where I add my gold. I don't want to cover the entire thing. Instead, I want to add it kind of like coming off the center photo, just following the circular line. So be very mindful of where you add your gold. I'm not covering everything, and that's what I'm using my stencil brush. You're gonna see that I'm just pick up some of the gold glaze, and I go on a circular motion on top of the stencil. That's gonna create a little bit of texture, but also like kind of diffuse it a bit, so you have the nice look of texture and looks like you painted it at the same time. And I'm gonna go ahead, like I said, careful where I add it. Make sure that that dries, and then I'm gonna come in with the last, no, not the last, but one other layer of mixed media. For this, I am using Yeso, and I'm diluting it with some water until it reaches the consistency of a fluid acrylic paint. And then I'm gonna splatter it all over the mixed media application that I have. That's just gonna create that grungy look, kind of age look, and it's gonna dim a little bit of the black on the background. So I'm gonna set it aside to dry completely, and then I'm gonna start working on the pieces that are gonna go on top of this. Now this is a fall layout, so and because I wanna just stay within that like nice neutral tone set that I'm using for the background, I'm actually gonna go ahead and fussy cut images from the papers that have just tones of yellow and black and white. So I'm cutting a few of the butterflies. Most of them come from the 6x8 because I wanted something in a smaller scale. I cut a few of these yellow flowers. Again, I'm going to use the ones that are towards the edge of the paper just because they have quite a bit of distress. And then I'm going to cut some of the black and white flowers. Again, you're going to see that I'm going to pick the ones that are right at the edge because they have a little bit of distress on them. So they're not just black and white. They have distress. They have green and different colors. And I'm going to fussy cut each one of these images. So I'm going to take that outside of the camera, and while my background dries, I'm going to work on that. At the same time, I use an old set of Tim Holtz C6 dies that just creates branches and leaves, and I'm gonna cut one of the pre-made mixed media background. I had a piece left over from a project a couple weeks ago, so I just went ahead and cut it. And this paper has like colors from yellow to pink, so there's a few different colors to choose from, and that's what's gonna bring the color onto my layout. So I cut quite a few of them, and I went with this die because it had quite a bit of movement. You can use a cut file, you can use a stamp. I had it handy and I had a piece, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it. So my background is pretty much dry. I'm gonna go ahead and start assembling this. So I've pulled together these papers from the 6x8. I'm gonna back my photo with, and you're gonna see my photo. I'm just holding a leaf, and it's full of frost. So like, it's in that transition between fall and winter, and I love it. I love fall and winter, one of my favorite seasons. So I'm just gonna back my picture with this paper. I'm gonna add some foam adhesive behind it, and then I'm gonna attach it to that Polaroid frame that comes in the ephemera pack. But I'm gonna make sure that there's a movement, so it's gonna be on an offset. And everything is ready to assemble, so I'm gonna go ahead and start just putting the final touches to my background. So I'm bringing back the same plate that I used to create my circle, and I'm using this time a Sharpie. A fine liner will do, and all I'm doing is I'm just drawing the circle, a few different circles around the same area. So it's gonna look like if you stitch, then go ahead and stitch. I wish I could, I have a love-hate relationship with my sewing machine. Her and I are not good friends all the time. We can be frenemies. So I'd rather go the easy way, and I'm just gonna go ahead and draw it with my fine liner. And instead, I'm just going to go ahead and add some zigzags and like little lines that looks like it's not fabric, but the thread gathered at those edges. Simple as that. My background is ready, and so I'm ready to start assembling. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a piece of the packaging. I have quite a bit left from all the stuff that I have around behind the photo. That's just gonna create a little bit more extra height. I want to give it that bit of a height when I add it to my photo, to the background. Remember, I added some foam adhesive behind the photo, and then I'm adding a piece of the packing underneath the layers. So just gonna give it that little extra height when I attach it to my background. And to attach it to my background, I'm actually gonna use liquid glue, because I want to make sure that it's really strong hold. Mixed media tends to make things slippery and fall down, so you need strong glue to attach it here. And I'm gonna put it right on the bottom right corner of my layer. And you're gonna see right now that if you look at the page, it looks unbalanced just because the bottom is really heavy compared to the little application you have on top. But I'm gonna show you how we're gonna balance it. So right now it's all about creating clusters. I'm gonna go ahead and use the black and white florals and also the yellow florals to create my clusters around the photo. I'm gonna add it on the top right hand corner of my photo, and also on the bottom left corner. But I'm gonna make sure that the flowers sit towards the inside of the circle that I created, because I want the mixed media that I added to show on the other side. So I don't want to cover the entire thing. A lot of it's gonna be covered, and I'm okay with that. Like I said before, if it was if I didn't have to show you the example, my photo would have been a little bit smaller, so a lot more of the mixed media would have shown. But instead I went with something a little bit larger, because I know that most of you like to document larger photos. So I went with this a 3x4, and I'm using larger elements to actually create the clusters. But I'm making sure that these flowers, like I said before, sit within the inside of the circle. So whatever mixed media I have along the line of the wreath towards the bottom of the layer actually shows. And again, I'm just playing with the black and white florals and the yellow florals to create these clusters. And then I'm going to use all those little branches that I created different colors to help me create the movement. So I went with a die that had quite a bit of movement, because I wanted to make sure that those leaves give the idea of the wreath, so they continue the circular motion. And again, I'm just adding some glue and some foam adhesive behind the branches just to give it some height and create that motion of the circle. Now you're gonna see, like I said, Right now, if you look at my layout, it looks really unbalanced. Like a lot is really heavy at the bottom, but it's kind of heavy in the center. So I need to create another cluster on the top left corner of it to balance it out. And you're gonna see that I've already put 2 flowers there. I'm actually gonna bring one of the black and white ones there too, just to make sure, like, you know, that I have the same tones that I have next to the photo on the top left cluster. And then I'm gonna add some other branches again to create that motion of movement. I was very careful here though. You're gonna see that when I add my flowers, I don't want to cover the entire background like that little bit of mixed media. Instead, I'm gonna kind of place them a little bit towards the bottom of the mixed media section that I have, and that's really gonna unbalance my page. You're gonna see that because the flowers are gonna sit close to the edge of the paper, and if you see at the bottom, the photo is not sitting at the edge, it's kind of sitting towards the center. So here's where I'm gonna start balancing stuff. I'm gonna bring a title. This is from the chipboard sticker sheet, and I'm just gonna add some foam adhesive behind it, and I'm gonna glue it to the bottom right corner of the photo. So that's just gonna stretch that image and kind of move it towards the center, and still a little bit unbalanced. So I'm gonna create, like, you know, that balancing, making sure that it's centered using the butterflies. You might not see it here because I think I moved them after the camera, because I realized that even though I moved them a bit here, once I took it off to like take the photos, I realized that I needed to balance it even more. But the butterflies are gonna help me with that, because right now most of the the embellishments on that, like, you know, that little cluster are really close to the edge on the left hand side, and I have quite a bit of white space at the bottom. So I need to bring more butterflies next to the title just to make it look like it's centered. So keep that in mind. And then I'm just gonna add the butterflies, like, you know, helping me follow the circular motion. I don't want to add much more because I have already quite a bit on the background. I don't want to hide my background, I don't want to hide my flowers, I don't want, you know, to add much more. So instead, I'm gonna pull a little sticker phrases from the sticker tablet. I'm just gonna add it in certain spaces. I think I added a little puffy heart from you know, the collection, and I added a little tab, not a tab, like a little flag, and that's about it. I'm gonna add my lines of journal underneath the Crazy Good later on, but that's about it. I love how this turned out. Honestly, this is me. The best way to say, like, you know, my dark side, grungy side, this is it. I love how this turned out. There's so much you can do with color study, not just, you know, rainbows and butterflies, but you can do so much and with the mixed media. And I hope you give it a try. As always, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. I would love to help you. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you next week. Okay guys, take care. Bye bye.